Okay, so our next session is very, very interesting. I know it's immediately after lunch, but it's interesting enough that you'll be awake. You're not going to be sleeping. It's going to be a little interactive. There are few concepts, very high-powered concepts, which probably, of course, we've been discussing since yesterday, today, but here you just get certain truths which are going to be shared with you. It's by Ocean. I don't know how many people know her, but at least at the Quantum Clinic, she's been a known face. She's been healing. She's been sharing. We've had so many sessions and workshops. And she lives up in the mountains. Her journey has been remarkable. It's in this lifetime that she wants to really go within and find out who she really is. And as she's learning, she's sharing all of that with everybody. She is a healer in the true sense of the word. So her healing is tremendous. I do not know whether we get time today that she can do a short process. Let's see how it all works out. If we get 10 minutes, maybe we do have that. So I'm not going to waste so much of time, but let's get Ocean right here.
Everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here, to be talking to all of you and telling you certain truths that made such a huge difference and transformed my life. Wait. But then, now? Great. Okay. So, these truths are not new truths, they are truths about you. You as a human being, and always having thought of yourself as a human being. But there's much more to us. So, right in the beginning, what I would like to say is that I respect and honor all truths, all religions, all systems of thought. I wouldn't be what I am if I didn't respect and honor all of that, right? But there are certain things that are kind of hidden. They're there in all the major religions. Everyone talks about it, maybe in the fine print. But these are the truths that if we ignore, we face problems in three major areas of our lives. Those three areas, if we don't have what we want in those three areas, we really are unhappy. And basically everybody is looking for happiness. So, what I'm going to do is just ask all of you, what are those three things that we want in life, which really make us happy? Which we say, okay, these three we must have. Yeah, and where do you get contentment from? Which three areas, really? You can just shout out, because you know, the first day of the conference, we're all strangers, the second day we are family. So just shout. Health, wealth, relationships. Three. Love, health, wealth. Okay? And then we always told in the world you can't have all three. Acha, do cheezein hai, that should be good enough for you. Yeah? Rest content. You've got health, you've got wealth. You know, so what if you don't have loving relationships? You have problems with your son, you have problems with your father. It's okay. You can't have everything. What I'm here today to tell you is you can. But when we ignore the basic truth, the ultimate truth of ourselves, we can't have all three. So what is that ultimate truth? Again, anybody want to say? It's kind of whispered. Nowadays, a lot more people talk about it. Would anyone like to kind of venture? A truth about yourself. Yeah. 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 So, souls, absolutely. So what you really are is a drop of the ocean of God, right? And what do I mean? The drop holds everything that is God within it. So all of us sitting here, 9 billion people on this earth, we are those drops that carry the full essence of God. It's there in the scriptures, it's there in the Bhagavad Gita, it's there as Guru Nanak talked to us about it, Buddha, Jesus, you see, all of them have talked about this truth. And we say, okay, that's fine, but we don't feel like that. We don't feel like we are the drop of that ocean. So today what we're going to do is, very practically, we're going to see how do we move back into that knowing and use it in our day-to-day lives to get the three things that we want. Ultimately, you're going to be so happy and so expanded by the movement into the knowing of yourself that it's going to be an onward journey. It never ends, really. So what is the thing that doesn't allow you to know that you are that supreme being, even though everybody says that you are? What is it? Sorry? Self-doubt? Sure. Yeah. Fabulous. Who said judgment? That's cheating, because I've been talking to you. All right. So, if we put it in a nutshell, we put the thing, what keeps us from knowing that we are that magnificence, that powerful being, and I'm talking about power without arrogance, it has a lot of humility, it has purity of love in it, is fear. Through centuries, we've been told you're a human being, stay a human being. For centuries, you've been told you're limited, there's only so much you can do and you can have, just stay that way. It's like being the caterpillar on the ground. You can't see what else you are because you're kind of walking your way on the ground. And today, it's going to be my endeavor to try and just pass on some key points which will help you to move towards your empowerment, the empowerment of who and what you really are. And that is so that you can fly like a butterfly. Everybody ready for it? Great. Wonderful. Just a few voices. Is everybody ready for it? Great. So, let's start with a couple of points. Fear. When I talk about fear, how do you get over fear? Because 80 to 90% of the time, we are thinking and we are feeling fear, right? And we are creating this. This is the important point. What are the two things that create your life? Tell me. The two things are your thoughts and your emotions. It's not people outside of you. It's not a power outside of you. You take thoughts and you put emotions. These two energy forces within you create your reality. Okay? For example, if you say, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money, you're not going to have money. Because with the thought comes that emotion of fear and you don't have it. Now, anybody who's gone into the law of attraction and manifestation knows this truth, right? Who's heard of the law of attraction and manifestation? Great. So, everybody knows that it's the thoughts and feelings that create our life from moment to moment to moment. And somebody will say, look, I didn't ask to be robbed. I didn't ask to be pushed into the river. And I would say to that person, have you even thought of it? Even once. And then you realize how powerful you are. You get it? Are you being able to hear me? Great. So, I'll give you another example of how powerfully this works, even collectively. There was the case of Nirbhaya, the one who was raped a number of years ago. Who remembers that case? Everyone? And everybody was up in arms about it, right? Everybody said, what a brutal rape. Those 5 people should be hanged, they should be burned, they should be beaten up, they should be tortured, right? And they should be killed, basically. And there was this huge wave of anger against all those 5 people. And then finally, somebody killed the leader in jail. You remember that? And there was a lot of satisfaction. But what really happened was a lot of energy going towards these people should be killed or really have a bad end. So in the end, who is the murderer? Who murders? And that's why it's very important to be very, very responsible. I think a lot of people have talked about responsibility, not only for yourself, but what you're contributing to this world. So everybody contributed to that through their thoughts and their emotions, and it actually happened. Yeah.
Can you hear? Great, great. Okay. So, how do we get back to the knowing that we are a part, not the son or the daughter or the thing of God, but we are that drop of the ocean of God which has everything that God is in it. Please, everybody, take a deep breath. All right? And in times of sorrow, in times when you're feeling low, you're feeling really depressed, you feel you can't go on, you're feeling helpless, take a deep breath and you realize that that power is within you. It's giving life to the body and you're living. The moment you stop breathing, your costume is lying on the ground, but you have left. So do you realize that power which we all talking about doesn't reside outside of you, it's within you, right? And isn't that a reassuring thought? Because every time you breathe, you say, hey, it's okay, I can get myself out of it. And how do we get ourselves out of it? Taking our thoughts and emotions and just allowing them to be, converting them into love. So give me one fear-based thought that anyone has. One fear-based thought. Anybody can talk about it. It can be theoretical. It doesn't have to be some really genuine, your own thought. One fear-based. Huh? Sir? Walking down the stairs? Falling down the stairs. So everybody has this. A lot of things. I'm driving, I might drive off the mountain. Okay, I might drive into the river, I might this thing. So these are all fear-based thoughts. What you do is take your fear-based thought which is immediately joined with the emotion of fear and you convert it by saying, I'm a supreme being. I am that which will, my life and every moment of my life will go according to what I wish and the direction I wish it to go. So I'm not going to fall down the stairs. And then you go on. It's just not taking one thought and converting it with one love-based thought. It's more like having about 10-15 love-based thoughts. I'm just giving you quick sort of answers to start practicing, because when you start practicing, you're going to find that your percentage of fear-based thoughts go down. If you have one fear-based thought, mostly throughout the day, 80 to 90% of the day, we are in fear. Fear-based thoughts, fear-based emotions which immediately join it, right? So, if we start converting, it's not enough to say, hey, listen, we just chuck it to the side. Let's just leave it and try to avoid it. I'm not going to think like that. I'm not going to think like that. Because we are aware. Don't think negatively because it's going to create some chaos in your life. All of us are aware of that. So what do? We try to sort of push it away. No, I'm not going to think of that. How many people are successful? Tell me. Anybody successful in that? It comes back, right? So the only way to tackle it is to convert it. No, that's not going to happen with me. And the more you say it and you do it, the more confident you are because it doesn't happen. It actually begins to work for you. That's how powerful you are. If one thought is powerful, can you imagine how many, if you take 10, 15 thoughts and you're just converting, you're now beginning to think and feel more of a percentage of love-based thoughts. And that's going to start creating your life. Has everybody understood this? May I go on to the next concept? Okay. The next one, the thing that prevents us from knowing that we are that huge potential, that pure energy of love, is emotions. We are taught right from the beginning, suppress your emotions, behave yourself. Even as a small child, you're sort of told if you start crying or you start throwing a tantrum or anything, it's like, and especially if you start crying, you're upset about something, it's like, shh, shh, keep quiet, keep quiet. And that is a way of course, there is some merit in it because you're trying to kind of just, not disturb others, but you can also divert the child's thoughts, right? And their emotions and just say, hey, this is it. Just, divert their attention. And that might be a better way. Especially then, another thing is that all the boys are told, oh, shouldn't cry. Now, Chandrayaan disappeared somewhere and that scientist cried in front of Modi, right? And then there was in the newspaper this huge thing about, should men cry? Now, I ask you the question, should men cry? Okay, who are the men who say, no, shouldn't cry? Anyone? Fabulous, I've got a fabulous audience. Really good. So, there are emotions from the altered ego, which are fear-based. We all know them. If you have anger, you have guilt, you have regret, you have depression, these are fear-based, okay? What we call negative. And then you have emotions which are love-based. So, what is it? Do you stop yourself from feeling fear-based emotions? And if you do, it creates disease in the body. If you suppress it, because you've been told, hey, don't get angry. You're supposed to be calm, you're supposed to be peaceful, stop getting angry. And then when you get angry and everybody is telling you it's a terrible thing that you get angry, you start feeling guilty, you feel regretful, all fear-based emotions. And what happens is that causes disease. So what causes disease is the fear-based thoughts and emotions that we are not able to process in a very healthy way, which is energy, because thoughts and emotions are energy, right? We're all energy, but the most powerful energies which are impacting us are our thoughts and emotions. Most powerful. There's no denying it. And the moment you start working on it, especially if you have a disease, you will start feeling a huge change in the health of yourself. You will start feeling more peaceful, you'll start feeling more creative, and you really start doing well in life. You start creating every moment of your life, right? So the idea is to process your emotions. You're feeling depressed, allow yourself to feel depressed. What's the big deal? And then don't wallow in it. Step out of it after some time. You say, okay, I don't want my frequency all at this depressed level. I'm going to be, attracting to me, because my frequency is so low, I'm going to be attracting to me more things that get me more depressed. If I'm getting angry and I'm holding on to my anger, I'm going to attract more people, places, events and things into my life that are going to make me angry, right? That's what it does. So allowing yourself maybe for an hour, maybe for 2 hours to feel depressed or angry, and then you say, okay, snap out of it. And at that point, you remember how powerful you are. That even with one thought and one emotion, you can change your whole frequency. So supposing you're angry and you just say, okay, now let me let that go. I've experienced it enough. I've felt it. I'm not going to collect it in my body and cause disease and aging. Aging is another thing. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to have a thought which is very life enhancing, which is kind of something that makes me feel good. And what is that? Just give me examples of that. What thoughts would you say are very love-based? It's okay. That person made me angry, but I'm going to love myself, and I'm going to love myself enough to feel a little better, to step out of this zone that I always step into. Okay? I always go into this tailspin of regret and guilt and judgment and everything. So, has everybody understood this? Because I'm going fast, fast, fast. Nimrit has told me, be fast, be quick. And then whatever Nimrit or Dr. Sachin tells me, I'm very meek. I kind of listen to them, It's like when I was supposed to be talking and they said, okay, you got to talk about the universe within you. I said, okay. And then they said, you got to talk about fear. And I said, okay. So now I've been told, talk fast, quickly, finish, we don't have time. And here I am. So have you got the whole emotions thing kind of a little bit under control? Everybody understood it? How to do it? And of course, love-based emotions are just that rocket fuel. What is your soul? One last thing on emotions. What is your soul? Your soul is the emotional processor of thought. If you suppress your emotions, you're out of alignment with your soul, you're out of alignment with that which you really are, the magnificence. Okay? So, what does it do? The soul, it takes a thought, attaches a love-based emotion to it and creates your life in really magnificent ways. So, now the last bit which I want to talk about is judgment. This is a little controversial, but let's go in for it because I find a very receptive audience. What if I were to tell you that you cannot move out of fear and you cannot realize who you really are if you have judgment within you? You cannot become loving, you cannot become forgiving, you cannot become anything that you wish to be, magnificent, creative, creating your life in really wonderful ways if you have judgment. And what do I mean by judgment? This is right, this is wrong. This is good, this is bad. Do you know that all enlightened beings, or those who are moving into higher and higher states of consciousness, where they are really able to master life on earth and live in a very happy way, they have no judgment. So, how do I put this to you? Because a lot of people will say, but we think and we feel in judgment. Every thought of us is a judgment. So there's going to be a very, very strong distinction which I want to make is between judgment and fact. Fact is you have no emotion about a certain truth, and a judgment is a feeling. It's a feeling. This is bad, this is wrong, this is terrible. So, for instance, that person walking down the street, he's a thief. I've seen him, he goes house to house to house, and I've seen him, he comes out, he's stolen stuff, I've seen the evidence of it, and you're just making a statement, a fact. He is a thief. Now, a judgment is terrible man, the one who's coming down the street. You know, he steals. He should be locked up in jail. He's terrible. Every time I see him, I feel so angry, I feel so terrible, and this. Now, do you know the difference between fact and judgment? Is it clear? Yeah? Fact has no feeling, it's just the isness. He is a thief. But you have no strong feelings about what a bad thing it is that he is a thief. It's not easy to do. Non-judgment is not easy to do. But I am going to speak about it because until and unless we dedicate ourselves to non-judgment, we are not going to get out of fear. Okay? And it starts with, everyone start with judgment of thought. When we are talking to each other, and I'm talking to you and there's certain things you don't agree with, there is judgment of thought. Somebody tells you, hey, this is the way it's done, and you have a judgment and you say, no, that's not the way it's done. There is judgment of thought. Those people worship goats. Oh my God, what a stupid thing to do. Judgment of thought, right? There is absolute fact, there are limited truths, and there are more expansive truths, that's true. But there's no judgment about it. In ultimate truth, everything is God. Every energy, everything, this whole place, all of you, the ground, the sky, everything is vibrating with the vibration of love. All energy starts with love. Its foundation is love. Because God is everything. And so we very conveniently, everybody who's heard God is everything? Quite a number of people. God is all, God is everything, right? And then we say, but not fear, not hatred, not violence, not anything. And I say God is all those things too. Okay? If God is everything, we've heard that God is the all. It also means everything of fear is also God. It's just a limited version of knowing yourself. When you are angry, it's a limited version of knowing yourself. You're angry about something which you have judgment about. Okay? This is a deep, deep concept. We don't have so much time. But if you start practicing it and say, first of all, I'm not going to judge myself. Big thing. Big thing. We don't even know how much we judge ourselves. And because we judge ourselves so much, we can't reach our full potential. Impossible. So let's stop judging ourselves. Are we all agreed on that? Are we aware? Are all of you aware of how much you judge yourself? I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that. That time in my life, I made so many mistakes. And nothing is a mistake. Everything is an experience. Why have judgment about what you didn't or didn't do? Because in the past, whatever you did at that point of time, that was what you thought was the best thing to do. That's why you did it. You're not going to do something because, oh, I know it's bad, I know it's wrong, but I'm going to do it. You think that's the best course of action for me. A murderer murders because at that point, he thinks it's the only course open to him. It's another thing that he has absolutely forgotten who and what he is, which is the essence of God, right? And because he's forgotten it, he turns to violence, he hurts and harms others. But when we start moving into non-judgment, there is great love for everyone, even if you meet them for the first time. This is what I will tell you as a guarantee. There is forgiveness, there is compassion. You cannot have forgiveness and compassion if you have judgment within yourself, and especially judgment of self. If you cannot forgive yourself for doing something in the past or not doing something in the past, you're not going to be able to forgive anybody else. Is that clear? Yeah? Great. Guilt is the harshest judgment of self. Harshest. How to get rid of it? Just give me one example. Hey, let's make this interactive. Everybody just ask me questions. Okay. Just give me one example of guilt, a common example of what people feel guilty about. Okay. So, I brought up my child at that time with, I did this, and now with better understanding, I realized that that thing was a very limited understanding of what I was to do, and I did it. But at that time, I didn't have that understanding. I didn't have that wisdom. So, even at that time, when I didn't bring up my child the way I understand now to bring him or her up, right? At that time, that was the best I could do, so I'm going to forgive myself. Guilt comes from non-forgiveness of self. Okay? What other questions of non-judgment or thing? Please just shout them out, because this is so important. Earth-shaking importance. I spent 16 years looking for the truth. What are the solutions to life? And finally, it boiled down to this, and I was told very clearly by my teachers, you will not be able to solve anything in life or move out of fear into love and a love-based frequency, a high frequency of love, if you don't give up judgment. So, any other question? Yeah, it doesn't let you grow. If you judge yourself, one is, okay, let's just go between constructive criticism and destructive criticism, okay? Yesterday, I went and did something which I think wasn't really so wise, because you know what happened after that? It wasn't what I wanted. It went a little haywire. It caused hurt and harm to others. I felt a little disturbed, and it didn't bring about the results that I wanted, okay? So, no judgment. First of all, what you're going to do is not judge what you just did, and you're going to say, but what happened? And I'm very grateful for it happening, because I got insights into how to move forward. Now I've learned from that, And next time such a situation comes up, such a person comes up, I'm going to be able to, I'll deal with it differently. So I've learned a lot. Is there anything wrong with that? Is that incident still bad or wrong, or you judge? No. You've taken the pearls of wisdom from it with great love for yourself, with great honor for yourself, and you're going to use it in the future. And you're getting more and more into the knowing of who you are. Ultimately, who you are. Yeah, it's called, you know, in the English language, they call it constructive criticism, you know. Okay, that's not, according to me, completely the truth. It's just that we are not aware of judging ourselves so much. If you don't judge yourself, very naturally, as a byproduct, very automatically, you stop judging others. If you ever find yourself judging an event, judging circumstances, judging another person, it means somewhere you're judging yourself. Absolute truth. Okay? So, that's why, again, judgment of self is so important to be working on. Introspection is just thinking very deeply about something and really getting, like, again, what I said, the pearls of wisdom. Okay, that happened, that happened, that happened. Not dwelling too much in the past with a lot of judgment, galat ho gaya, kharab kar diya, ye wo, but just kind of thinking about it. Or taking a topic and just thinking very deeply about it is introspection, right? And judgment is a feeling. It's so strong. It's so, this is wrong. It's like Nirbhaya, it happened, and the whole world, especially India, of course even outside India, everybody was transformed into this absolute vibration of fear. There was anger in everybody, there was violence in everybody. Okay? Any other questions? Yes? I'm not doing that, huh? That noise. Huh. Okay.
Can you elaborate what do we understand by this spiritual guide?
Guide?
Yeah, spiritual guide.
Yeah, yeah. So, there are guides, you're talking about the non-physical, is it? Yeah. Everybody, every single person has usually a group of non-physical guides, okay, who are there to help them in their day-to-day life or in matters of spirituality. There are guides in various levels, and when you're quiet and you're just asking for help, the guides give you that help. And they might give you that help through, you know, something, a page that you're reading, you're listening to the radio, you're watching the television, and you start getting answers. Those spiritual guides who are just putting you into that position, into that space where you just suddenly start getting answers to what is really bothering you. So they're always around you. Most of us are not aware that we have this group of beings around us who are there to help us should we wish to contact them and say, hey, help us out with this problem. Okay? And because we're not aware of them, we are not communicating with them, and we just kind of lose very good friends, supporters in our journey. Because our journey is such, you know, different from angels. Angels have never been on the earth plane. And here we are, all of us, all 9 billion people, whoever comes to earth, whoever incarnates, is a very, very brave soul, because it's very well known that if you come to earth, you're going to forget who you are. Very well known. So, a lot of souls will say, this earth experience, not just yet. I'd rather not forget who I am. Okay? And those are the angels. But they're kind of watching us with great interest. Okay, this is how they're mastering this. This is how they're mastering that. Maybe. And we are the ones who are inspiring them. So then they say, okay, maybe we'll take the plunge now. Because until and unless you do the earth experience, you don't know the all of God. And we are all moving towards moving back towards the remembrance of being God. And so if everything is God, every experience is God, we have to do the physical, even when it makes us forget who we really are. And we come with great bravery, with great courage. Okay, we've forgotten, let's get back to the knowing of that. Right? It's a grand journey. When we stop giving up that whole thing of being a victim. Oh, my boss, I didn't get permission because the boss didn't give me, doesn't like me. Oh, that person did that, those circumstances were like that, and this is why it happened with me. And it's nothing like that. It's your thoughts and emotions which are creating everything in your life. And people are coming towards you according to the vibration you're giving out and giving you the experiences that you at the soul level are asking for. So there's nobody who's a victim here. There's never a victim. And the moment we realize that and we kind of step into our empowerment and we say, if that is the truth, that my thoughts and emotions are so powerful, I'm going to really start using them in a very love-based way to create the life I want, to reach the heights I want. And then you stop being the caterpillar and you become the butterfly. And when you become the butterfly, who's heard of the butterfly effect? Anybody? Yes? Butterfly effect. Basically, what it means is a butterfly flapping its wings in one part of the world creates a tsunami in the other part of the world. Okay? So, when you start flying, when you decide, and perhaps today you'll decide, okay, I'm going to go into the cocoon of introspection. Maybe whatever Ocean said has truth. I'm going to have an open mind. What if this is possible? What if I'm creating my life? Let me step into my cocoon, because when I emerge as the butterfly, eventually I will also have the butterfly effect in my whole world. I will become that light, I will become the light being, and I will really inspire everyone around me to flap their wings and cause tsunamis of love throughout the world. Wouldn't you like that? Who wouldn't like that? Anyone? Is that a thing? It's always our choice, and I hope you make the choice to know who you really are, to really get to know, because it resides within you. Every breath tells you that great power, the universe within you, has the power to create universes. It's not foreign, it's not something strange, it is something that is accessible and reachable, and then you really start getting the contentment somebody mentioned, and the happiness that somebody mentioned, right? And I think I'll leave you that. And any other questions? Sorry? Yes? Yeah.
So we can say weeping is like a therapy sometimes.
Absolutely. Have you noticed how good you feel after you've really cried about something instead of bottling it up? It's fabulous. Please cry.
Is it safe for everyone?
It's safe. It doesn't mean that every little thing, it's absolutely safe. Because guess what's happening? You're never going to age, and you're never going to, the person who's angry, has anybody known a person who's angry at the drop of a hat? Choti si bhi baat ho, gussa chadta hai, and starts shouting and screaming. There's one person who says, yes, I know. Okay. Shouting and screaming and really letting out the anger. And guess what? That person's going to live for at least 100 years. Maybe a miserable life, but is going to live for 100 years. No aging as such. May become all wrinkled, but that body is functioning. Because what is he doing? He's just letting the emotions out. As soon as they come in, he's just giving way to his anger. And he's making everybody miserable, but he's not bothered. His body is in good condition. Totally. Okay, not that I advocate that you should get into anger and really let off that thing, but crying is wonderful. Please cry.
Someone is not there to make him out. So, can he try himself? if someone is not there to make him out of weep, so
Yeah.
can he try himself weeping? So because many people are there who have faced lot of depression type of things in his life.
Yeah.
So if someone is not there to come out of that weep, so can he try himself?
Yeah, to come out of that, can he try himself?
Yeah.
Try. Yeah, of course. Of course. You're very powerful. Please remember that. You're very powerful. So, if you're sitting, supposing you're sitting outside your house, butterflies are flying around, you know, all is well, people are passing, you're feeling good, right? And you're not feeling good actually, you're feeling depressed. And just with one thought and one emotion, you say, I'm going to change this. I'm committed to moving into love. And just with that one thought and emotion, you will be able to. It takes practice, but you can do it. And then you realize, I'm sitting in the same place. The sun is still shining. The butterflies are still there. People are still walking around. But I've changed. My mood, my perspective, everything has changed. And who's done it? You. A lot of people that I work with, I'm always asking, so when I ask them after about a month and they say, and I ask them, okay, how are you doing now after 1 month? And they say, you know, this change came in, this change came, and this change came in. And I say, okay, who did it? Last thing, who did it? And they take a little bit of time to recognize it, but who did it? They did it. And that's the message for you all. Please fly, please flap your wings and cause tsunamis of love. Thank you.